Hi dear students, today I am going to teach you how to plot the graph of this trigonometric function, and as you can see in this one we have A, B, C and D. Remember that A is the amplitude, B is how wide the graph is going to be, C is the horizontal shift, to the left or to the right, and D is going to be the vertical shift, up or down, how it's going to behave our graph, okay? Now, let's see. Let me tell you that you could have the D at the beginning or at the end of the function. In this case, they are giving us at the beginning, but it is the same thing, okay? Now, let's start getting the amplitude. Amplitude equals the absolute value of A, and A equals 4, so the absolute value is 4. It means, remember, the distance from the x-axis to the maximum and to the minimum. But why do I have this green axis here? Okay, remember that D is our horizontal shift, up or down. As this tree is positive, we are going to shift up our x-axis 3 units. So we start here in the x-axis and we count 3 units. 1, 2, 3. And in the number 3, we trace a virtual x-axis with dotted colors. So once you have the virtual x-axis in place in the correct number or in the correct place, you are going to be able to graph your function. But talking about the amplitude, dear students, we have here the virtual x-axis and you count 4 units because the amplitude is 4. So we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have your maximum. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have your minimum. Okay? Good. Let's continue, dear students. Period. Remember that the formula for period is 2 pi over b, and b equals 2. So we have 2 pi over 2. We simplify and we get pi. The period, remember, is the size of our graph. So we are going to have 1 pi from the beginning to the end. Good. Now, the size of the quadrant, dear students. As we have 4 quadrants in the unit circle, we are going to divide the period by the 4 quadrants. So we get pi fourths. So this is the answer, pi fourths. That means that from here to here, which is the first quadrant, I'm going to have pi fourths. And from the second point to the third one, which is the second quadrant, I'm going to have pi fourths, and so on, okay? Now, let's continue with the beginning, because as we have C, we are going to have a shift, horizontal shift to the left. If we have here plus, we are going to have a horizontal shift to the left. If we have here a negative, a minus, we are going to have a horizontal shift to the right, okay? But we have to get where we are going to start plotting our graph. How? With this formula, remember. You are going to take whatever you have inside the parentheses, the x term and the pi term, it could be in degrees also. But in this case, they are giving us in radians. So you take 2x plus pi 6 and you equalize it to 0 because we are getting the beginning, okay? And you solve for x. Now, let's solve. X equals minus pi 6 over 2. We solve the fraction and we get minus pi 12. And careful, dear students, these 12s are telling us which is going to be the scale for the x-axis. So look at here in the coordinate plane, we are going to write. In the x-axis, the scale is going to be from the origin. Here we have 0 pi. So we are going to start 1 pi 12ths because I'm going to work with 12ths, okay? 2 pi 12ths, 3 pi 12ths, 4 pi 12ths, 5 pi 12ths, 6 pi 12ths, and you continue. Then you can simplify, but first write it like this so you don't get lost, okay? 12 by 12. So when you simplify, you get, for example, here, pi 6, pi fourths, pi thirds, and you continue. Then, the beginning, dear students, we got minus pi 12. So with this information, I know that I have to start plotting my graph in negative pi 12. So in negative 1 pi 12. So 1 to the left here. And look, remember, at the form of our positive sign function, which is this one. So we're going to have the important 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be my first important point. And later on, I'm going to start moving to the right, and I'm going to count. But how many 12s? Let's see. In order to move 1/4, because the 1/4 is the size of each quadrant, we are going to divide 1/4 by 1/12. Because which is smaller, dear students, 1/4 or 1/12? So 1/12 is smaller than 1/4. So how many times fits this 1/12 in 1/4? 3 times. So as you can see, we're going to move to the right. 1, 2, 3 pi 12, and in this pi 6, I'm going to plot the next important point. And I remember about the shift, about the form of the positive sign. Let me write it here. This is positive sign graph, okay? So I have to go up. So if I am here, 1, 2, 3, and then I go up. How many units? I am going up 4 units because of the amplitude, okay? So you start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have your second important point. And then look at the form. So we are going to continue, you are going to advance 1/4, which is 3 times 1/12, and I count 1, 2, 3. So here, 1, 2, 3, and then I go down. Look here, I have to go down. So I go down how many units? 4, the same as the amplitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that way I get my third important point, and then you continue. Again, I'm going to count 3 12s. 1, 2, 3, but here in the same level here. 1, 2, 3, and then you check the form. Okay, so I have to go down 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have the fourth important point. And then again, 1, 2, 3 12s, and then I go up. Okay, so 4 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have the last important point. So you can plot your graph. Let me remark here the important points so you can see them. And then let's get the ending. Sorry, I started explaining you how to plot the points, but anyway, we'll have to get the same ending, okay? Let's solve this one. The ending, you take what you have inside the parentheses, which is 2x plus pi 6, and you equalize it to 2 pi. Remember, the beginning equals to 0, the ending equals to 2 pi. And then we solve for x. So x equals 2 pi minus pi 6, everything divided by 2. And then when we solve all these operations, we get x equals 11 pi 12. So as you can see, we are ending exactly in 11 pi 12, which is correct. Now, once we plot the graph of our function, we are going to get the maximum, minimum, domain, and range. So the maximum, dear students, we go to see the maximum. Okay, so it is in pi 6, 7, okay? The minimum, dear students, we get it here, and we have 2 pi thirds, and this is in -1, okay? Good. The domain, dear students, from the negative infinity to the positive infinity, because we know that this graph is coming from the negative infinity and it continues going to the positive infinity. Then the range from the bottom to the top. So we start from the bottom, boom, here. We start here, which is -1. So bracket, because -1 is included, comma, you continue. Okay, and you see here is the ending, so it is 7, and you close with bracket because 7 is also included. Okay, dear students, I hope you find this information useful. You're going to solve an equation like this during the class, okay? So thanks for your kind attention. Have a very nice day and take care.